Hey y'all, I'm Brandon, and today on Baking with Brandon, we're doing something controversial. We're doing something daring. Some might even say it's brave. Today, we're baking oatmeal raisin cookies. Now, oatmeal raisin cookies get a bad rep, and I don't know what it is. We might have all had like the same traumatizing experience as a kid where you bite into a cookie and you think it's gonna be a delicious chocolate chip, and then all of a sudden, your senses are confused and it's a raisin. All the people I talked to about this episode, they all said, why are you making oatmeal raisin cookies? Why don't you pick something better like chocolate chip, macadamia nut, literally anything else? Make oatmeal cookies, leave the raisins out. But me, I'm a big fan of oatmeal raisin cookies. I think they taste great. I truly don't know what it is. I don't know why we all have this bias against raisins.
I'm just trying to make people happy. Everyone's so shocked when they see me, so angry that I'm there.
I don't know what I did to make everybody hate me. I'm just a raisin. Why don't you love me?
But I'm here to tell you that raisins are delicious, especially when they're in a cookie. And when they're baked right, oatmeal raisin cookies, top tier. I really think that if you give this recipe a chance, you're gonna love it. So let's go ahead and jump into it. These are all the ingredients you're gonna need for the recipe. You can check the description down below for the exact measurements. We're gonna start by whisking together all of the dry ingredients. So the flour, the cinnamon, the ginger, our baking soda, and of course our salt. Just gonna put them in a separate bowl and then whisk those all together. Next, we're gonna cream together our butter and sugars. Make sure that the butter is at room temperature because that's gonna make it a lot easier to cream them together. In order to cream them, we're gonna use a paddle attachment for a standing mixer. Of course, if you don't have a standing mixer, you can mix by hand. After all that's creamed together, we're gonna add in our vanilla, mix for a little bit more, and then lastly, we're gonna throw in our eggs. I like to go one at a time. You don't have to do that, but it just makes more sense to me than just plooping them all in together. Keep on mixing until the batter comes together and looks like this. Now we're gonna bring back our dry ingredients. I like to split the dry ingredients into at least 2 batches so that things don't get too wild in the mixer. Make sure that you're mixing on low to start, or else you're gonna have flour going everywhere. Finally, the true stars of this recipe, we're gonna put in our oats. Now, I was a bit of a daredevil when I poured in the oats. I had the standing mixer on. If you want to be safer, definitely you can turn that off and then incorporate the oats before you start mixing on low. Raisins do have a tendency to stick together, so before you pour them into the mix, make sure you've separated them. The last thing someone wants is a giant glob of raisins in their cookie. Now we're going to scrape down the bowl. We just want to make sure we don't have any dry spots and our batter looks nice and gorgeous like this. Our cookie dough has been through a lot today, and it needs a little nap before it can keep going. So we're just gonna cover it up with this little plastic blanket, and we're gonna throw it in the fridge so it can take a nice rest. Now, the reason we wanna give our dough a chance to rest is because we need that flour to absorb a lot of the liquid, especially for our oats. We wanna give them a chance to absorb flavor. So we're gonna let our dough chill for about 30 minutes in the fridge. Now our cookie dough might be taking a bit of a nap, but we still got work to do. So we're gonna spray some cooking oil down on our baking pans and line them with parchment paper. And of course, we're gonna preheat our oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Once our dough is done resting in the fridge, we're gonna use an ice cream scoop so that we have uniform balls. Now, typically I use a bigger ice cream scoop, but I just didn't have it available. So I'm using a 1 tablespoon scoop and I'm just going in twice. 2 tablespoons seems to be the perfect amount of cookie dough for me. So I think that's a really good measurement to use if you don't have an ice cream scoop. Make sure that you have at least an inch between each scoop, and we're gonna put these in the oven at 375 for 13 minutes. So our oatmeal raisin cookies are out of the oven and they're ready to taste. Top tier, I'm telling you. You will not regret trying this recipe. There is so much flavor in here from the cinnamon and the ginger. It's so good. They're really, really soft. I love the taste of these cookies. If you're someone who already loves oatmeal raisin cookies, perfect recipe for you. If you're someone who's biased against raisins, I know this is gonna change your mind. So go ahead and give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. When you try the recipe for yourself, go ahead and leave a comment underneath and let me know how it went. Thanks for watching the video, and of course, thanks for baking with Brandon.